barons maintained their resistance. Kent's garrison was harried by a band of archers, led by Squire William of Cassingham, whose tactics echoed legendary Robin Hood's. Waging guerrilla warfare with his merry men, they repeatedly dealt severe blows to the French. Louis had to swiftly resolve the Dover Castle stalemate, else the invasion risked stalling. A new assault would demand weeks of preparation. Starving the garrison out would likely take longer. He had no option but to truce with Hubert de Burgh on October 14 and lift the siege, at least temporarily. Soon after, on October 18, 1216, King John Lackland died. 10 days later, his 9-year-old son, Henry III, was crowned at Gloucester Cathedral. His regent was the seasoned knight William Marshal. Everything changed with the old king's demise. His a tyrant, the Baron declared. One position vanished when Marshal ratified a slightly amended Magna Carta. On November 12, most baronial complaints were settled. An increasing number then sided with young Henry, acknowledging him as their legitimate king. In Dover, Louis sought to sway the garrison that his recognition was the better option, rather than submit to a child's rule. Yet Hubert de Burgh would not align with the French prince, pledging his loyalty to Henry. He compelled Louis's retreat to London. Throughout the winter, increasingly, barons changed allegiance. Louis became progressively defensive until early 1217. Forced to return to France for reinforcements, his march across Kent and Sussex to the south coast nearly ended disastrously. The French army starved, as resistance fighters systematically destroyed all provisions along their route and incurred significant casualties. In an ambush near Lewes, the army's remnants barely reached the French fleet. At Windsor, during Louis's absence, the Dover garrison was not entirely forthright. The men torched the abandoned infrastructure, disrupted his communications with English and French allies, and consistently blocked French ship landings. They also raided the vicinity to restock their provisions, and seized crucial resources right under Louis's nose. Upon his return to England in April 1217, he resolved to quell their defiance. Dover Castle had long been a persistent nuisance. Louis reached over on May 12, prepared for a stay of weeks or even months. The French prince was resolved to capture the stronghold, whatever the cost. Aware that Hubert de Burgh would disregard any surrender offer, he ceased talks and promptly deployed his artillery. Meanwhile, he had bolstered his siege weaponry with a potent new device, a colossal counterweight trebuchet dispatched by his father from France. As per historian John Goodall, this was potentially the inaugural trebuchet of its type employed in England. Its primary benefit over a mangonel or human-powered trebuchet was its capacity to launch significantly larger missiles over even greater distances. It was evident that even this powerful machine by itself would not suffice to capture Dover Castle. With a renewed assault on Dover, Louis was undertaking a considerable gamble. He had to divide his troops. A substantial part of his army remained alongside Thomas, Count of L'Aberche, before Lincoln. Even though the town had been captured, the castle held firm. The siege on the Dover Castle, it depleted nearly all of Louis's remaining English troops. As a result, it relied heavily on French reinforcements to sustain both sieges and avoid field exposure. Back home, Blanche of Castile tirelessly amassed troops and funds for her husband. She could only dispatch 40 ships for now. Regrettably, a fierce storm struck as a small fleet neared England, driving it back out